pleased to have you back on our channel, everyone. The top 10 least corrupt countries in the world for 2023 are our fascinating and educational topic of the day. A major problem in today's world, corruption continues to have a negative impact on economies, society, and the general welfare of people. We'll therefore be exploring the nations in this movie that have achieved outstanding progress in preserving transparency and battling corruption. Let's begin immediately. But first, let's briefly go through what corruption is and why it's so important to fight it before we reveal the top 10. Corruption is the misuse of authority, frequently involving bribery and unethical behavior, to further one's own interests or those of others. It weakens public confidence in institutions, stifles economic expansion, and exacerbates social inequality. Now, you might be wondering how we determine the ranking of the least corrupt countries. Well, these rankings are based on the Corruption Perceptions Index provided by Transparency International, a global anti-corruption organization. The CPI assesses countries on a scale from 0 to 100, where 0 signifies highly corrupt and 100 represents very clean governance. Before we dive into the top 10, let's acknowledge some countries that narrowly missed the list. Switzerland, Finland, and Singapore deserve honorable mentions for their strong commitment to transparency and accountability, even though they didn't make it to the top ranks this year. Top 10 Least Corrupt Countries 2023. Kicking off our list at number 10 is Ireland, with a CPI score of 77. This country has consistently improved its anti-corruption efforts, fostering trust in its public institutions. The Irish government has taken steps to promote transparency and accountability. It has implemented measures such as public procurement regulations, financial disclosures for public officials, and freedom of information laws. A strong civil society and active media play a crucial role in exposing and reporting on corruption, which helps keep public officials accountable. Irish society also has a relatively low tolerance for corruption, and there is a general expectation that public officials should act ethically and in the public's interest. Stepping into the 9th spot is Germany, earning a CPI score of 79. Its government's dedication to combating corruption has been commendable, leading to a more transparent society. The country upholds the rule of law, which ensures that all individuals, including public officials, are subject to the same laws and regulations. This helps prevent abuse of power and corruption. Germany actively participates in international efforts to combat corruption, including ratifying international conventions and cooperating with other countries in anti-corruption initiatives. The country benefits from an active civil society and a free press that play a vital role in exposing and reporting on corruption cases, thereby keeping public officials accountable. Moving on to number 8 is Netherlands, achieving a CPI score of 80. With effective anti-corruption policies, this nation continues to set a positive example for others to follow. The Netherlands has implemented effective measures to prevent corruption, including anti-corruption laws, codes of conduct for public officials, and a strong legal framework to investigate and prosecute corrupt practices. The Dutch government places a high emphasis on transparency in its operations. There are laws and regulations that require public officials to disclose their financial interests, and public spending is often subject to scrutiny and oversight. Securing the 7th position is Switzerland, boasting a CPI score of 82. The commitment of its leaders to root out corruption has resulted in significant progress. Switzerland is known for its efficient and competent civil service, which reduces the likelihood of corrupt practices. Switzerland has taken steps to regulate its financial sector to prevent money laundering and corruption-related activities. The Swiss government has also implemented robust anti-corruption measures, including laws and regulations that address corruption and bribery. At number 6, we have Singapore, with a CPI score of 83. This country's consistent efforts to maintain a corruption-free environment have earned them this spot. Singapore provides protection for whistleblowers who report corruption or misconduct, encouraging individuals to come forward without fear of retaliation. The Corrupt Practices Investigation Bureau in Singapore is an independent agency responsible for investigating and preventing corruption. It operates without interference from other government bodies. The country actively participates in international efforts to combat corruption and has signed and ratified various international anti-corruption conventions. Entering the top 5, we find Sweden, scoring 83 on the CPI. Its transparency measures have created an atmosphere of trust between the government and its citizens. Sweden has strong and transparent institutions that promote accountability and integrity. The government, judiciary, and public administration are known for their efficiency and lack of corruption, which helps maintain a clean and transparent system. Swedish society places a high value on honesty, trust, and ethical behavior. This social trust and shared values create a culture where corruption is generally frowned upon and less likely to be tolerated. At the 4th position, Norway shines with a CPI score of 84. Its relentless fight against corruption has set an example for others in the region. Norway has strong and transparent institutions that promote accountability and integrity. The government, public administration, and judicial system are known for their transparency and efficiency, making it difficult for corrupt practices to take hold. Norway's relatively high standard of living and strong welfare system may contribute to lower incentives for corruption among public officials. The Norwegian public sector is known for its efficiency and effectiveness, reducing opportunities for corrupt practices. In the bronze position, we have New Zealand, earning an impressive CPI score of 87. The nation's commitment to ethical governance has resulted in significant social and economic benefits. New Zealand has strong and transparent institutions that promote openness, accountability, and integrity. The government, public administration, and judicial system operate with transparency, making it difficult for corruption to thrive. The New Zealand government encourages public engagement and participation in decision-making processes. Open dialogue and involvement help prevent corruption and foster trust between citizens and the government. The runner-up in our ranking is Finland, securing a remarkable CPI score of 87. Its stringent anti-corruption policies have contributed to the country's prosperity. Finland places emphasis on education and awareness about corruption and its adverse effects on society. This helps in building a culture where corruption is less accepted. Finland has strong anti-corruption laws and enforcement mechanisms. The country's legal system actively investigates and prosecutes cases of corruption and bribery, and the penalties for such offenses are significant. And finally, drum roll, please. Taking the crown of the least corrupt country in the world for 2023 is Denmark, with an outstanding CPI score of 90. This nation's relentless efforts to uphold integrity and governance deserve our applause. Finland's relatively high standard of living and economic prosperity may contribute to lower incentives for corrupt practices. Finland has a vibrant civil society that plays an essential role in promoting transparency, accountability, and good governance. Non-governmental organizations and watchdog groups actively monitor public institutions and advocate for anti-corruption measures. And there you have it, folks, the top 10 least corrupt countries in the world for 2023. These countries' dedication to transparency and accountability serves as an inspiration for all nations striving to combat corruption. Remember, a corruption-free society benefits everyone and paves the way for a brighter and more prosperous future. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up and share it with your friends. And don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more engaging content like this. Also, let us know in the comments which country surprised you the most on this list. Thank you for watching, and until next time, stay informed and stay curious.